with a little love, just a little love. Open your heart and see where it's hidden with a little love, just a little love. You feel it in your heart when you've succeeded, making all the sadness light, getting some fun in your life, making all the clouds roll by, getting some sun in your life, and you can fly up the darkest night, follow the gloomiest day, chase all your cares away. With a little love, just a little love, with a little love. Just a little love, with a little love. Open your heart and see where it's hidden. Just a little love, with a little love. Just a little love, with a little love, just love.
Hi, honey. What are you doing? Well, what's the matter, honey?
Oh, Jim, I love you.
Well, now that's the way a husband should be greeted. Is there any reason why I'm more lovable than usual?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's my bridal corsage.
Forgive me, darling. I should have recognized it. Debbie, that was 11 years ago. This stale, dried-up thing was fresh and new and beautiful.
So was this stale, dried-up thing.
Debbie.
But I was cleaning out the closet, and I found this box full of our wedding things. Here's the receipt for our license.
I remember it was $3.52, including tax and the beer I had to buy for the justice of the peace.
Oh, beautiful. You remember how much money it cost you, but you forget my bridal corsage.
Well, no, honey, what I...
Men. It's too bad there isn't something else a girl can marry. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I'm being feminine and unfair, and I know it.
Well, let's see what else is in here. Oh, here's the marriage license.
Notice that I don't mention a certain fella who was supposed to put it in the safety deposit vault 11 years ago. Don't look at it.
Why?
Well, you've watched enough television to know what happens. We look at it, and then we find out that after all these years, we're really not married.
Don't be silly.
Well, you'll be sorry. It's probably a hunting license.
Not this. It's a stop hunting license. Know all men by these present joined to the bonds of holy matrimony, James Clyde Thompson and Deborah Alice Greenleaf. Signed by my hand this 17th day of April. Emmett J. Jackson, Justice of the Peace, Barrington County. Term expires April 15th. Looks fine to me.
Hey, what was that last part again?
Signed by my hand the 17th day of April. Term expires April 15th.
There really is something wrong. He married us on the 17th, and his license expired on the 15th. He wasn't a justice of the peace. He was a fraud and nothing. We may as well have been married by the mailman.
Well, now, I think it's just a technicality.
Oh.
Well, relax.
Relax. Huh. Isn't that just like a man? I mean, it's easy for you to say. Where am I going to get a husband at this stage of my life?
Hey, you know what this means? For the last 11 years, we've been...
I guess we have. Oh, gee, I wish I'd known it was illegal. I could have enjoyed it more. It doesn't mean anything, does it, darling? I mean, it's just a technicality, like you say, isn't it?
Well, now that I've had more time to think about it, I don't know.
What do you mean, now that you've had more time to think about what?
About the girls I used to know. I wonder what Louise Rhodes is doing these days.
Louise Rhodes? Oh. Oh, I'll help you, sir.
could use hers.
She was her second draft choice. But I made her a better offer.
Ask Bob.
What?
Well, he wouldn't know.
What?
He's a CPA, he'd know.
What?
He's not a lawyer. He wouldn't know.
What? Can we put an end to this? I'm getting nauseous.
Now, let's get his opinion. After all, he's your brother-in-law.
Well, don't be too sure.
What do you mean? What do you mean, don't be too sure? Look, let's go back to what? It made more sense.
All right. What do you think of that?
What's your opinion?
Well, there's no doubt about it. This is a marriage license.
We know that. Look at the dates.
You're not married.
Oh, be serious.
I am. In my opinion, you're not married.
What do you mean? Who's not married?
He means Debbie and I are not married.
Watch what you say. That's my sister you're talking about.
Well, she's my, friend.
They were married on the 17th, and the JP's term of office expired on the 15th.
What? You mean that they've been... how could... My goodness, what will people think if... Oh, I never. If you let me... You can't.
Me? What did I do?
Now, let's not go into that, dear Charlotte. I'm sure in a week we'll all be laughing about this.
How come no one's laughing now?
Char, I'm sure it's going to be...
You I'm not talking to.
Well, look, even if there was some little legal foul-up in the first place, after all these years, what difference would it make?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what difference it'll make.
It's positively disgraceful the way
Legally,
you
Debbie,
took
she
advantage of
wasn't-
her.
I don't know.
Hold it, quiet, folks. Now, we are going to take this little marital landmine, put it back where it came from, and forget this ever came up, right?
Right.
Right.
Wrong.
What are you talking about, Bob?
Now, you're just making trouble, and don't slouch like that.
With a build like mine, how can you tell I'm slouching?
Never mind. Why can't we just forget it?
I'll tell you why. Legally, this is very sticky. If Debbie is not Jim's wife due to a legal technicality, well, if anything should happen to Jim...
She wouldn't even be his widow.
Exactly. Some long-lost cousin could come along that she never even heard of and throw her right out in the street.
Poor Debbie.
Poor me.
Well, what about poor me? I just died.
Poor Jim.
It's just like a man, only thinking of yourself.
All right, Bob, what do we do?
Well, there's only one thing to do. Marry the girl.
You're kidding. Get married again?
Oh, you've had your good time, and now you don't want me. Is that it?
Don't be silly.
It's the only way, Jim. You and Debbie have been having fun for the past 11 years, but it's been illegal.
What kind of illegal fun have you been having, Aunt Debbie?
My baby! The child isn't 12 years old, and he has to live in this kind of immoral atmosphere. Darling, go outside and play. I'll call you when dinner's ready.
Boy, just when it was getting good.
Fool! Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
All right. We'll get married.
Good.
Well, that's better.
Congratulations.
Who are you going to marry?
You.
Well, I don't recall your asking me.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Of course, if you don't wish to.
I wish to. Will you marry me?
Not much of a proposal.
A little advice, Jim? Go the whole way.
You're kidding.
No. Come on, on your knees, sonny boy. Down. Debbie.
Debbie, I love you very much. Will you marry me?
Well, I don't want to rush in.
How do you mean?
I'll do it!
Okay, let's see.
Sir, need I remind you that I am a single lady?
My intentions are honorable. Besides, we're getting married tomorrow.
Are you intending to sleep in this room tonight?
Absolutely.
My mother won't like it.
She joining us?
No, sir.
silly, but we're getting married tomorrow, and we do have a guest room.
You're not serious.
No more serious than you were about calling that girl, what was her name?
I don't remember.
Louise Rhodes.
Oh, we're doing this in a fit of pique, eh? Well, I think you're right. One of us should sleep in the guest room.
Well, I'm glad to hear you. What do you mean, one of us should?
Well, it's my house and my bedroom, and I intend to sleep here. Now, if you don't wish to, that's your privilege.
Well, we know you're a good sports writer. Let's see if you're a good sport. And we'll flip a coin.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Lend me a penny.
No, let's go for a quarter. All right. I'll flip it. Was my idea. Heads, you stay here. Tails, you sleep in the guest room. Leave 2 quarts of milk, please.
You know, I've been thinking about our getting married this morning.
You've changed your mind.
No. It's just that if we go down to City Hall and get the license, the newspapers will pick it up, and you must admit it's not exactly the kind of thing we want everybody in town to know.
I'm sorry I even know about it.
So, let's elope.
Hey, yeah! Oh!
Debbie!
What is it, dear? What's the matter?
Courtesy of your nephew, the yellow journalist. Jim and Debbie Thompson to end 11 years of illegal fun. It's a grabber of a headline, I'll give them that.
You're kidding. Popular local couple will finally get married and make it legal. It's a joke, isn't it? I mean, he printed up just this one copy for us to make us laugh, right? Right? Oh, kill him! Hey, we have to get the papers before he delivers them. Oh.
Honey, they've all been delivered. We got the last one. Debbie!
But we'll steal them off the porch before anybody can read them.
Debbie, wait!
Will you come on and help me?
Honey!
I haven't been having all this illegal fun alone, you know.
We can't go running around the neighborhood in our bathrobes stealing newspapers.
Give me one good reason.
Reason number 1, it's probably too late. Hello? Yes, Mrs. Franklin. Yes, thank you. Any day now, we haven't decided. Sure, I'll tell her. Bye. Mrs. Franklin over on Whitley Terrace.
Nosy old Franklin. Wait, this neighborhood must have taken a course in speed reading. Hello. Oh, Phyllis, yes. Well, thank you, Phyllis. It's very funny. Bye. How long will it take you to get transferred to the Tokyo office? We can't stay here.
Honey, it won't...
What about plastic surgery? No one will recognize it.
Sweetheart, it's not the end of the world.
I'm sorry, this number's been disconnected. However, this is a recording.
There's a bright side to this, you know. Since everybody knows about it already, we could have a ceremony right here in the living room.
You know, there's one thing that makes me... A wedding here? A regular ceremony?
Sure, why not?
Oh, I always dreamt of a real wedding. And we could have Bob and Charlotte and a few friends, and then we wouldn't be alone the way we were when we eloped.
It's a good idea, honey. I've got to get dressed.
Oh, and I could have a real wedding gown instead of wearing those old slacks.
Would you bring me a cup of coffee when it's perked?
And we could have a real best man, Bob, instead of that taxi driver who kept the meter running all through the ceremony.
Goodbye, Debbie, wherever you are.
And I can order decorations and flowers and... Oh, there's that terrific minister over in Glenview. I'll call him. I'll make a small guest list, and it'll be so exciting. I can't wait for the... Hi, honey. Relatives, past first cousins, all business associates except those we're currently involved with, and all friends except those to whom we have special obligations.
How many does that give you?
Well, not very many. Here's my other list. invited? No, but I'm going to tell him now. Goodbye.
Bye, Char.
Oh, what? Bye.
214 people?
A good number, isn't it, dear? Has a nice solid ring.
You mean to tell me that you actually invited 214 people to our wedding?
Well, at one present per couple, that's 107 presents.
Where are you going to put them all?
In the closet, except for the ones we returned to the store.
No, not the presents. The people.
Oh, under the canopy.
What canopy?
In the garden.
We're getting married in the garden?
Yes, dear, the caterer can't put his table in
Well,
the living room, you know.
What caterer?
Oh, for the reception.
The reception.
In the garden. You see, darling, the caterer has to have room for his tables, and then we have to have room for the mariachi.
We're having a mariachi band? Let me ask you something. Whatever became of the simple ceremony in the living room with a few close friends?
Well, I tried to work that out, darling, but I didn't want you to be embarrassed.
Embarrassed?
Yes. If you had to stand there and watch me walk through those doors in a beautiful wedding gown with 10 bridesmaids and a flower girl and the organ pealing...
Are you sure this is what you want?
Yes.
Well, there's just one small thing I want.
Anything, darling. What?
Call it off.
Call the wedding off?
Now.
But the guests have been invited.
Call it off.
And the minister's all set.
Call it off.
And the flowers and the decorations and the food and Pedro and Ramon have all been ordered.
Call it off.
Can't you say anything besides call it off?
Yes? Cancel it.
Oh, please, darling. I want a real wedding. I mean, when we were first married, we couldn't afford it.
Honey, the way you're planning to do it now, Howard Hughes couldn't afford it.
Well, if I'd known you were this much of a cheapskate, I never would have married you in the first place.
Well, I've got news for you, honey. You didn't.
News for you, darling. I won't.
And then she said you're a penny pincher and you care more about money than you do about me, and that's absolutely, positively my final word on the subject.
Then what?
Then she had 15 minutes more of absolutely, positively final words on the subject, ending with get out.
Bravo! What do you mean, bravo?
Disgraceful. Any man who thinks that little of his wife's happiness deserves to be thrown out of the house.
Any woman who thinks that little of her husband's money doesn't deserve to live in that house.
Now, wait a minute.
If Debbie's going to be so mule-headed about this, then Jim is invited to live here with us for a while.
Who says so?
I says so, and I am the master of this house.
Now, you two are getting very...
Right, master, then you can do the cooking and the washing and the cleaning, and I'll get out.
She'll be back.
Never mind sending my clothes because I intend to go mad on all your charge accounts.
Is Charlotte around?
No, she'll be home later.
Can I come in?
Of course, Bob.
I'm not interrupting your dinner, am I?
No, I'm not.
What's new?
Nothing. I broke up with my husband, whom I'm not even married to. But outside of that, everything's fine.
Oh, come on now. Look, we all acted kind of kooky. I guess it shakes you up to think maybe you're not married. Charlotte and I broke up, and we are married.
Didn't you miss Charlotte last night?
No.
Bob,
Of course I did, terribly. I couldn't sleep. It was so quiet.
Bob, is Jim
Listen,
home from
Deborah.
the office yet?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to
You
you.
give him a message for him.
Well, there's no need.
Would you tell him that I miss him, love him, and I'm stupid and sorry and dumb, and I have a dumb temper, and I love him and miss him, and I'm stupid.
Well, now, let me see if I got that right. I'm sorry I lost my temper. I'm ashamed of myself. I miss and love her very much.
Her?
And if she'll forgive me, she can be married in Grand Central Station and invite all the armed forces of the world.
You had this... How could you... If I had known that, I wouldn't have...
Oh, will you stop? You sound like Charlotte.
Bob, I'm sorry.
Look, maybe I didn't quite get the message right. Why don't you talk to the fella who wrote it? He's right outside. Will you come in, mystery guest, and sign in, please? Well, I think I'll go out and wait for Charlotte and apologize. I'm so lonesome. I brought her peace offerings.
Well, we're acting like we're married.
Well, don't start that again.
Excuse me, but this telegram just came for you. Look, she loves me.
Didn't they have any with almonds?
Oh, it's a reply to the one I sent yesterday. From our old friend, the Justice of the Peace, the one who married us.
You mean the one who didn't marry?
Yes, well, his term as a Justice of the Peace did expire on April 15th, 11 years ago.
Well, we knew that.
But he had just been re-elected to a new term. They just hadn't delivered his new rubber stamp yet.
Mr. Thompson?
Mrs. Thompson.
Good night, and thanks for being with us. I'll be looking for you next week. Same time, same station, different outfit. Night.